great astronomer Galileo's last words were, "Mama always told me not to look into the eyes of the sun." But Mama, that's where the fun is. All right, this is a 2020 KTM 1290 Super Adventure S, S for Sport. They also make an R. The R has a 21-inch front tire and has 9.5 inches of ground clearance. This has just around 8. But this gives you about 8 inches of suspension travel in the front and rear. So you can take this off on the gravel and wherever you want, basically. That's 160 horses with a 0 to 60 of 3.1 seconds. All right, I've got a VFR 1200X Cross Tourer. I've had a V-Strom 650. I've ridden the Pan America. Let's see what this thing's about. Let's go for a ride. I love these foot pegs. Your feet will not slip off of those if they get wet. All right, it's pretty tall seat. It's just a little bit taller seat than the V-Strom 650. But the seat has 2 settings, which is nice. So you have a high and low setting. Now on the R, I believe you only have 1 setting. Let me stand up on these pegs and see what we got going on here. This is a nice situation. I like this situation right here. I mean, I'm standing up on the pegs, but it's weird. I almost feel like you don't need to. This motor sounds like it wants to just tear something apart. We're gonna take it on the highway, give it the beans, and see what these 160 horses have to say. This suspension is stupid comfortable. You can set the dampening. You can set it through here, by the way. There are little leads hooked up to the forks there. KTM 1290S. Let's see what you have to say. You got a gear indicator upper right on the screen here. Yeah, no time at all. Yeah, the 0 to 60 on paper is 3.1 seconds. Hello, tractor trailers. The good news is with the suspension travel in this bike, I could just run over that tractor trailer in front of me and be completely fine. No worries whatsoever. 6-speed chain drive, of course. 6.1 gallon tank, so you get a fuel range. If you're judicious with the throttle, I mean, you're not going to want to be, but if you are judicious, you probably go 190 miles maybe, 200 miles before you got to look for a gas station. You're not going to want to be judicious with the throttle. I don't redline until 10. I'm at 75 now. I'm at 4,200 RPMs-ish. Yeah. Now this bike is 475 pounds dry, so wet weight, you're just over 500 pounds. It's a really windy day, but I'm really not getting blown around too badly. You know, my V-Strom was like that too. They designed the V-Strom in a wind tunnel, and I'm wondering if they did a little research on this too, in that regard. This motor is raging. It's effortless rage. The visuals are great. I'm in a nice high seat position. I can see everything. The mirrors are perfect. I can see behind me. The brakes are bitey, real bitey. You got Brembo brakes, man, on both rotors in the front. So it's linked ABS, as I understand it. Now, the newer ones have cornering ABS. This does not have cornering ABS on it. But the newer ones do, which is nice. But you can turn the ABS off on this if you want to go off-road. Oh, look, they've cleverly hidden your 12 volt right under there. And it's got a center stand. That's really cool. What I like about this thing is the engine feels raw. The horsepower is unnervingly good. It feels like it is absolutely at home anywhere. If the S is this good on the road, I can't imagine how good the R is off-road. I'd love to find out. That sounds like a future video, actually. Oh yeah, it's effortless. Yeah, I'm seeing the magic of this thing. You know, it's got a little more throttle. It's got a little more torque and pull, I believe. I think it's 101 foot-pounds of torque. It feels like it has more pull than my VFR 1200X Cross Tourer. which is a 4-cylinder Honda that I've got, adventure bike, cross-touring adventure bike. It's a very, very good bike. I love my VFR, but I do have to say, this 1301cc twin is rocking it. It's rocking it way faster than my VFR. Well, noticeably faster anyway than my VFR 1200X. Pretty windy days, you can hear, but planted, so planted. Great bike, sitting up high. Let's see here, take it up a little bit more. At 80, I'm doing 4,500 RPMs. I don't redline until 10. That's amazing. This I'm understanding. Like, I am totally understanding this bike. I totally get it. I get this bike. This is awesome. I can understand why people like these KTMs. But this, now this stock windscreen is completely useless. I will say that. You're going to want to upgrade it. I would get something a little different. Because it's sort of channeling the wind right at your helmet. Now my helmet's not buffeting, but I am literally tiptoe. I am 5'9½", and at a light, tiptoed both feet, and that's me completely outstretched. And that's with this seat on its lowest setting. If you are vertically challenged, this bike might not be for you unless you're really comfortable with giving it a little lean on a stop and straight legging it. If you're any shorter than me, I think this seat is much more comfortable than the inquisitional torture device known as the V-Strom 650 stock seat, which I lived with for 12,000 miles. And I have to tell you, my undercarriage has never been the same since the V-Strom 650. Give the undercarriage a little "how's your father?" All right, let's give it a little bit. The soundtrack on this motor is awesome, and this thing's still in the mid-range. It's got great pull in the mid-range. I'm in the mid-range now. It's amazing. I like this bike. This bike is on off-road, bed to the bone, baby. We're going to take it up here and do a little slow maneuvering. Let's see how easy it is to deal with slowly in a parking lot. All right, let's slow maneuver this thing. We'll see what we got going on here. All right, let's just cut it tight. Yeah, feels good. Feels really good. Let's cut it tight over here. Cut it tight to the right, tight to the right. Yeah, it's really a well-balanced machine. Really a well-balanced machine. I get it. And I like the orange and black. Those are my colors anyway, on my jacket and my helmet. I like orange and black. This matches. Shoot, maybe I should get it because it matches my jacket. That's a great reason to make a huge financial decision like that. Buy my 18th motorcycle just because it matches my jacket and my helmet. Vanity is expensive when you make choices like that. Look into my eyes. And they started making the KTM 1290 in 2015. This replaced the KTM 1190, which they made from 2013 to 2016, I believe. But this has a lot more horsepower than the 1190. This is actually, they call it the 1290, but it's got a 1301cc V-twin. This is an amazing motorcycle. It reminds me, the torque on the motor reminds me a little bit of the Harley Pan America. The one I test rode had 150 horses. This kind of feels a little faster and a little zippier than that. 6.1 gallon tank. What's cool about this is you got your thumb toggle here, and you can set different things, okay? So we can go back. You can set suspension, damping, load. Here's your different ride modes. Got rain, street, sport. Of course, it's raining. I'm going to leave it on rain mode. Down to traction control. Set that on or off. This is my review of the KTM 1290 Super Adventure S TG MotoRider. Signing off. No sun today. Must be an eclipse nearby.